What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now for today's video, we are going to be going over the brand new balance changes coming to Clash Royale, I believe in just a few days, and it will most likely turn into a rant because this is the dumbest set of balance changes I have ever seen added to the game. Supercell is honestly confusing me here. I have no idea what they're doing over there at Supercell headquarters all the way in Finland. Don't know what they're smoking over there, but they are on something if they think all of these updates are a good idea, because wait till you guys see what's going on. Let's go ahead and click on the balance changes coming. This was released this morning. I actually woke up to this and I just instantly in mad mood. I've been waiting forever for a new meta because I am honestly just so bored of the one right now. Ice Golem Balloon, Ice Golem Graveyard, Golem Elite Barbarians, all these decks are just really annoying and I wanted something new. And I knew they were going to nerf the Elite Barbarians. The nerf that they did give the Elite Barbs is somewhat okay. I'm not too worried about that one, but the rest of these changes are extremely stupid. Wait until you see what they're going to be changing in this next balance update. It is so stupid. If you already know what they're changing, you know I am so mad right now. First of all, they didn't nerf the Royal Giant. Just a spoiler alert right there. They didn't nerf the Royal Giant, even though it needs a huge one. That thing is impossible to kill. Everybody, even level 10s have max Royal Giants, and you can't kill a max Royal Giant. It just sits there and pounds your tower. We probably won't even ever see another Royal Giant nerf, which is really stupid. They need to nerf that thing. I don't care how easy you think it is to counter. It's really annoying, especially up here in the 4,500 trophy range when everyone has a level 13 Royal Giant. But that's just my rant on the Royal Giant. Before we even jump into the balance changes, I was extremely disappointed, but honestly not surprised to see these changes not including a Royal Giant nerf. But without further ado, let's go ahead and continue on ranting more about this really stupid balance change update. In particular, card use rates and win rates. You can expect monthly balance changes to keep gameplay fine-tuned and as fun as possible. It feels like it's been about 3 months since we've seen a balance change just because this meta has been so freaking boring and annoying. In this round of balance changes, we're taking a look at the now infamous Elite Barbarians, toning down some of the highest value defensive options and more. Everybody that plays the game expected an Elite Barbarian nerf because they were just so strong, and honestly, I'm not too worried about an Elite Barbarian nerf. I'm actually kind of happy about this one. They are going to be decreasing their hit points by 4%, their damage by 4%, and the hit speed to 1.5 seconds from 1.4 seconds. While these three changes are relatively small on their own, the combined effect should be noticeable and make Elite Barbs more manageable. We don't want to make them too weak, just a bit less powerful, and that's a decent nerf. I honestly think they should have reduced their movement speed because they are just way too quick. Unless you have an Ice Golem in your hand ready to be played, whenever you drop down a Golem, all the enemy has to do is throw down Elite Barbarians and there goes your tower. So I'm not exactly sure how big this nerf actually is against Elite Barbs, but hopefully it'll do something and reduce the actual use rate of the Elite Barbs, because honestly they're getting kind of annoying. I have been using them in all of my decks, but that's only because I have to actually get any wins. I'm just hoping that this nerf somewhat tones them down. Next up, one of the dumbest nerfs ever in the game. They are going to be nerfing the Zap by a damage decrease of 6%. It doesn't sound like a lot. However, the Zap already does barely any damage at all. It says Zap has been one of the most used cards in the game for a long time, which is not a surprise. It's a 2-elixir spell, has a lot of use out of it. They say this change will stop it from one-shotting equally leveled goblins, which includes Goblin Barrel goblins, and should make other spells such as arrows interesting alternatives. First of all, no one has used arrows in so long. I don't know why they're trying to bring it back. Nobody wants to use arrows. Zap was perfectly fine. The Zap wasn't even overpowered. They're just indirectly buffing goblins and Zap bait decks. Zap bait decks are going to get so annoying in this next meta. Honestly, it's going to be worse than this meta right now. The annoying Furnace, Princess, Minion Horde, Goblin Barrel, Inferno Tower deck is going to be the most annoying deck in this game with the next update. Because the Zap is going to be basically useless against the Goblin Barrel, I don't even want to know how it's going to play out against Lava Pups and Minion Hordes. But I was just extremely disappointed to see the Zap getting nerfed because that was definitely one of the dumbest decisions Supercell can make. Next up on the list, the Elektra Wizard is going to get a hit points increase of 9% and a spawn damage decrease of 6%. Because the Zap is getting nerfed and the Elektra Wizard is basically a Zap spell whenever it spawns, it has to get the same exact nerf to its spawn damage, but the hit points is going to be increased by 9%. The big news here is that the Fireball will no longer take out an equivalently leveled Elektra Wizard. Spawn damage reduction is for consistency with the Zap change above. I do like the Elektra Wizard hit point increase, still mad about the Zap nerf, but it's okay. The Elektra Wizard really needed a hit points increase to stop getting taken out by all these fireballs. Next up, we all saw this one coming as well. The Mega Minion is also going to get another nerf. The Mega Minion is going to get a damage decrease of 4% and a hit speed decrease to 1.5 seconds from 1.4 seconds. Like I said, we all saw this one coming. Not too mad about this one either because the Mega Minion honestly did need a nerf, and a 4% damage decrease to that Mega Minion is not too big of a deal. The Mega Minion is a highly used and very valuable defensive option in need of toning down. pulling the power from its damage instead of hit points felt like a better approach and more fitting with this armor theme. He's still a minion but a tanky one, so the hit point stays the same, damage decreased by just a little bit. I do really like using the Mega Minion on defense, especially for it only being a 3 elixir card considering all the damage it does. I would have been really mad if they nerfed the hit points instead of the damage, but this nerf honestly isn't too bad. Next up, Archer's hit points is going to be decreased by 4%. They are currently the top tier support card in the current meta. We're looking to pull a little bit of power from them, but also aiming to keep their interaction with Elite Barbarians and Mega Minion the same after the above 2 changes. Once again, everyone saw this nerf coming. The Archers are an extremely overused card. I use them a lot. I actually do like the Archers. However, I'm not exactly too sure about how I feel with their hit points being decreased. I'm assuming that this means they will be able to get taken out by tournament standard arrows. I'm almost certain that that wasn't the case before, that arrows couldn't take out tournament standard Archers. However, with this hit points decrease, maybe they might now. Next up, another really stupid nerf. The log is going to get a damage decrease of 4% and a knockback effect reduced by, I don't know, whatever they say. Reducing the log's knockback effect won't change its uniqueness. It'll still be the only card that can knock back all troops. However, our aim here is to lower how much control and displacement it brings to the arena. The slight damage reduction will keep its interaction with Archers the same. Just like before, the log couldn't take out Archers and knock them down to a sliver of hit points. However, since the log and the Archers are both getting nerfed, it looks like the log will still not be able to take out Archers. I have no idea why they had to nerf the log other than the fact to keep it consistent with the Archers hit points, but I don't know, just another stupid nerf by Supercell. Next up, there is an Ice Golem nerf, which once again we all expected. Another really popular card in the current meta. Hit points decreased by 5%, death damage radius and slow duration reduced. Not too big of a deal considering the Ice Golem is still going to have a lot of hit points for a 2 elixir card. No one relied too much on the death damage effect. I usually like it for the death damage actual amount of damage, so you can Ice Golem zap minion hordes. But it looks like the only thing going to be affected is the radius of that death damage and the slow duration. So like I said, not too big of a nerf considering it's still only going to be a 2 elixir card. Still going to have a lot of hit points for a very cheap card. And the last 2 nerfs are going to be an Ice Spirit damage decrease by 10%. I haven't seen too much of the Ice Spirit in the game in this current meta. Currently a lone Ice Spirit can bring an entire horde of minions to within 1 hit from each crown tower. That's a bit too much of a positive elixir trade for Supercell's taste, so they went ahead and buffed down that Ice Spirit damage. Not too big of a deal for me. Haven't used that card in a while since the Ice Golem became so popular. And last but not least, the Wizard's rank is going to be increased by half a tile. The Wizard's use rate is relatively low overall. A bit more range should make him a more compelling choice when stacked up against the other range support options. Not exactly sure if that's going to make too much of a difference, but I guess we'll have to go ahead and wait and see. However, that is going to be the end of the balance changes coming. I don't know when. When does it say they're coming? January 23rd, so in about 2 days. At the very top, you can see a tiny preview of all the cards that are going to be affected by this upcoming balance change, minus the Wizard, and I think that might be the only card not included in there. However, let's go ahead and play a quick game and see how many cards being nerfed are in my current deck. This right here is one of my favorite decks in this meta right now. Really the only deck that has any chance of beating all these overpowered other decks. Golem Elite Barbarians Graveyard is extremely overpowered. This deck just wrecks anything in sight. But let's just go ahead and play a quick game and see how many cards in this deck are going to be nerfed in this next update. Elite Barbs nerfed, Mega Minion nerfed, Zap and Log both nerfed, Archers nerfed, and the Ice Golem is going to be nerfed as well. So 6 cards in my deck are going to be nerfed. Not too big of a deal to me considering I really wanted a new meta. I'm tired of the same old stuff, but because all these cards are getting basically the exact same nerf, are they really going to be that bad anymore considering they're going to stay consistent with each other? I will most likely be using this deck until I see a better meta deck pop up in about a week from now, which will probably be when all of these bait zap decks start wrecking this deck. I am not excited for the bait zap decks to come back whatsoever. Those are really annoying, and because of the huge nerf to the log and the zap, they're probably going to be really overpowered. Those are all my current feelings about the next balance change. I know it's kind of a long video, really sort of a rant video as well. I've been talking a lot of crap on Twitter because this balance update really made me mad this morning. But like I said, these are all just my opinions. Let me know what you guys think about them down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well for more Clash Royale content. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.